Fantasy Football Universe, we are back with another episode of Devy Planet. Myself, SC Romero at the Devy Planet, and my co-host Spencer at Buckwild Sports. And today we are talking about under the radar prospects, meaning players on unranked teams that you're probably not talking enough about, and you need to put them on your radar. All that and more right after the intro.
Welcome to the Devy Planet. The Devy Planet. The Devy Planet.
Fantasy Football Universe, this is the Devy Planet. I am SC Romero, my co-host Spencer at Buckwild Sports. Spencer, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. It's as usual, it's been a hectic week, but I'm pumped to talk football. It was hectic in every sense of the word. This last weekend was some crazy games. You get managed to catch any?
Caught a few of them. A few of them I don't want to talk about because I was disappointed in the outcome there. But nonetheless, some good football. We actually gave ourselves some homework over this past weekend. Even though we are talking, Debbie, we decided, hey, let's give each other homework to tune into each other's games, so to say. Especially you asked me specifically about, I guess, what could have been game of the week. But what was your question for me?
Yeah, my question was kind of to tune into that Michigan-Oklahoma game and compare John Mateer and Bryce Underwood, sort of see. And then, on that offensive side is Klein, their Michigan tight end there. Is he a Devy tight end prospect? He had a huge 1 week, week one. Or was he just that 1 week wonder? And then Deion Burks on that Oklahoma side, was he back? What were your takeaways from this game?
So what I do want to shout out our guys at the Devi Dojo for comparing Bryce Underwood to Tommy Romo, our guy Dustin there. Mateer looks good, man. I mean, in this matchup, he definitely looks like he is something worth watching. And when it comes to comparing Bryce Underwood and him, you can definitely tell who's the seasoned veteran, right, in this. Because Bryce Underwood's good, and I believe Bryce Underwood can be a better prospect when it's all said and done. But Mateer, he's just a veteran, man. He stood with confidence in the pocket. He didn't have to escape when he didn't need to. I felt Bryce Underwood a lot of times he got out of the pocket when it's like, dude, you didn't need to. Your line was holding up. You could have stayed there a few more seconds, look down the field, scan the field, and deliver some throws. But instead, he escapes, goes out. He still makes some good throws, but at the same time, it's like you didn't need to escape that and leave yourself wide open for defenders there. Mateer, on the other hand, he was escaping with like fluidity. He was getting out of the pocket when the pressure was coming and making those big plays. And man, he was delivering darts left and right. Like he was just on fire hitting it. Is Deion Burks back? Yeah, I think John Mateer found him a one in Deion Burks. Deion Burks had 7 receptions, over 100 yards and a touchdown. That is his guy. He's been going to him. He's making these big plays. There was a couple times where I felt Mateer threw. He should have done it a little bit faster, like a little second earlier in the throws, but he didn't do that. And thus, Deion Burks had to slow down in his running to actually make the catch. Still made it, but it's like if he got it a little second earlier, it would have happened like there. So that was big. On the flip side, again, Bryce Underwood, I think he is a great prospect. We're just seeing the freshman flaws right now, which is going to happen. But I do believe he is going to be a solid prospect moving forward. And just because he wasn't looking as great in this game doesn't necessarily mean you need to fold on him as well. It's a prospect you want to hold on to. Max Klein, he'll be a good NFL prospect.
Yeah.
I don't know, like for fantasy football relevancy, I don't know. Like you can see him get some blocks there. He wasn't really getting the receptions that we wanted him to, but again, I think that was just Oklahoma defense actually stepped up and really smothered all around in the secondary and got proper coverage in there. The big news for Michigan is Justice Haynes. That's their guy, man. That's I know I was saying Jordan Marshall might be the better back there. Justice Haynes is 100 yards again, 1 touchdown. He is the offense there. If Bryce Underwood could start to click as the season progresses, that's going to be a very deadly offense if you have someone at the caliber of Justice Haynes in the running back position. But overall, was a great game. I was excited to see both quarterbacks. John Mateer is definitely rising on my ranks on my Devy boards simply because what I saw at Washington State, it's like, okay, you're starting to do it at a bigger level. Now in 2 weeks, I think he plays Auburn. Next week, it's I'm not sure, but it's not a ranked team next week. But then the following week, week 4, he does play Auburn. That's their first SEC matchup. So that's gonna be one to really tune into. That's gonna be all right. Now you're getting to think of the competition. But overall, right now, John Mateer is impression. Any thoughts that I missed on that?
No, John Mateer, he really reminds me of next gen Johnny Football, because
Yeah,
the way that he plays, it gives me flashbacks to Manziel, kind of at A&M there.
yeah, for sure.
That shorter guy rushing around, veteran presence. He definitely, like, I think you're spot on. Bryce Underwood has a better chance to be a better prospect because Mateer has a tendency to have his mechanics break down. I mean, we saw that on the interception. Just,
Right,
you know, everything was pretty good, but the arm angle was just a little off, and it sailed on him just enough to fall into the safety's hands.
right.
I mean, as for Klein, it was a big week 1. I agree. Like, he looks more like a blocking guy. Probably gets drafted day 3, has a solid NFL role, but I think that huge receiving production was a week 1, kind of a 1 week wonder type of deal. But
Right.
Deion Burks looks impressive. They have good chemistry there. I don't know how high he can rise, but I mean, this guy's Oklahoma's a good team, good program. So
I mean, Deion Burks is one of those guys. It seems like he just needed the right quarterback for him to get the ball to
yeah,
him, and now he has it. So excited to see what he can do moving forward there as well.
yeah. And you had some homework for me also. So
Yeah, mine was a little bit easier, I guess, because it's a blowout game. But I was hoping you tuned into the Oklahoma State versus Oregon, and I had asked you Makai Hughes' role in the offense. Is that sinking his W value drastically? And then Malik Bencher, Gary Bryant Jr. Do you see them playing a role further in the Devy prospect rub, or is it just Decoria more so further on for that?
So I am starting to get worried about Makai Hughes, but I mean, I think he was on the field a little bit more this week. He didn't do
Yeah,
anything when he was on the field, but he was there.
yeah,
I think that's what really worries me is that Noah Whittington looks like by far the better offensive player for them.
right,
I mean, I'm sure you tune into your Oregon Ducks, you see it, but I mean, Whittington looks much faster and more explosive this season than he has in the
right,
past. He used to just kind of be that sort of like change of pace, get in there, good college back. I almost think he's starting to pick up a little bit of Devy steam. We'll kind of see how as the season goes on. You guys have had a couple soft games right off the bat here, but I'm
yeah,
starting to get worried about Makai Hughes, not because of the lack of usage so much as when he gets the usage, he's not doing anything with it against
sure,
everyone else in the room is doing something. I mean, Jordan Davidson had another touchdown this week.
right,
De'Aaron Hill looked pretty explosive in his limited touches. I mean,
right,
there's a lot of names that are good. As for
yeah,
Malik Benson and Gary Bryant Jr., I'm not sure that there's Devy value there, but I do think that they're going to help elevate Dante Moore's Devy value because they look like solid options later in the offense.
mm,
I think Decorian Moore is really the truth, so to speak. That was a
yeah,
huge performance for him this week. He looked like by far the most explosive, by far the kind of best playmaker in the offense. But
right,
these guys look good enough that Dante Moore is going to be able to pass it around to them, make things move, and elevate his stock by showing he can go through progressions. On the other side,
yeah,
you asked me about Caleb Hicks. That's just volume, baby. That's just volume. It's
yeah,
that whole team is the Cowboys are in for a rough ride.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that with Caleb Hicks. It's to see like he's gonna eat at a college level production because he's gotta get the heavy volume. He's their prime running back there. On the flip side, Oregon, you brought up Makai Hughes, limited touches as far as like coming in the end of the game, kind of when he actually got his full on touches. Whittington looks nice. This is something they thought Whittington was. It was just again dealing with injuries outside, and it's
Yeah.
really his mindset as well. It seems like he's back and he's ready. Corey Moore does look like he's the alpha of the wide receiver group as far as what he's doing, as far as the explosiveness and everything. Overall, for me though, I feel Dante Moore needs to be in the Heisman discussion. Granted, they haven't played. This was a tougher matchup technically than the week before against Montana State, but yet this was a bigger blowout against than it was against Montana
Yeah.
State, right? So, but I do think Dante Moore is looking nice, man. He's feeding the ball all around. There's no one solidly getting 7, 8 receptions. He's getting everyone some looks, and everyone's progressing and doing good because of that. So excited to see what the growth could be for him. Excited to see what could continue with Oregon. I actually like seeing this depth. In
Yeah.
fantasy college, we don't like college fantasy football CFF. We don't necessarily like the whole idea of committee of this type of approach, but it's actually nice to see on the field because it's like, man, all these guys are doing phenomenal. They're
Yeah.
splitting the carries up enough to make them all have an impact. So you love to see that there as well. But yeah, I mean, Oregon should be good moving forward. Oklahoma State, not the same team with Ollie Gordon gone there. We knew that coming in there, but that was our homework. We'll have some more homework at the end of the show for each other too. But to get into the thick of our show today, we're going to talk about some unranked teams. Well, really, players that are on unranked teams that need to be on your Devy radars or maybe even on your Devy boards. And just going through some of them that we saw impressed or have impressed us through the first 2 weeks or just this past week as well. Starting with Boise State, Sire Gaines, the running back,
Yeah.
14 attempts, 98 yards, and a touchdown. He's obviously not as Genty, but I do like what he is, what he is about, what he can be. He can be a solid running back. I think if we're looking at those G5 type of running backs, Sire Gaines is potentially one that could get to that next level and drafted. His other guy, Dylan Riley, another running back, had a 77-yard run, pushed him over to take the team lead with 123 yards. I still think Sire Gaines is the more workhorse type of back, getting the bulk of the carries. But Dylan Riley does have that lightning to Sire Gaines' thunder there as well. Any thoughts on those running backs?
No, I agree. Like Dylan Riley is he's quick, he's fast. He did well, but Sire Gaines is clearly like kind of the better back. He looks phenomenal. It's always tough to gauge with these G5 guys,
Right.
whether or not they're beating up on lower competition or do they actually have it. I do think Sire Gaines actually has it. Obviously, I'm not anticipating a first round pick by him in any means, but I could see him getting into day 2 when it's time for his name to be called. I would love to see him transfer up, honestly.
Yeah, you possibly could. Shout out Daniel, thank you for joining in. He said Malachi Charlie stock. Yeah, that's a good freshman out there. When we're talking about Miami, that's a solid player. He looks like he's gonna be the top guy for Carson Beck there. So great shout out there, man. Appreciate you joining in. Amir, I do see your comment on Damon. We're gonna be talking about him shortly. So I haven't pulled that one up quite yet, but I do see it there. So please tune in because I actually want you to talk to us a little bit about one of the running backs. We'll talk about a little later as well, Amir. So appreciate you joining in. Next to our quarterback, a guy I've talked about in the offseason, guy I've mentioned, is looking like a stud. Taylor Green, I'm going to say this, I'm probably going to get crucified for this. Imagine if Justin Herbert and Anthony Richardson had a baby, you get Taylor Green. This guy is looking phenomenal. He is throwing some darts. He is athletic. He is speedy. He can get out the pocket and make some big plays. Fourth in the SEC in yards right now. It's 561, 10 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, averaging 10.7 yards per attempt there, or on the ground, excuse me. 1 touchdown on the ground, 6'6", size of Justin Herbert, but he moves like he can in Anthony Richardson style with that speed and that elusiveness. Has a good matchup against Ole Miss this week. This will be a big one for him, but man, I'm excited to see what he's doing. Him and Logan Blake keep connecting. This is going to be a big time matchup for him this week against Ole Miss, but I think this could be a possible upset. What are your thoughts here?
He's looked really, really good for the first couple of weeks here. Taylor Green, the concern is always like consistency, right? So if he does it for a third week in a row though against Ole Miss, it really starts to look like he's putting it together. The NFL has been less wary of these guys who have a ton of experience, and it kind of starts to click at the end of their careers. Like they've been taking these guys, they've been pushing them into the first round.
Right.
I think it's easy to joke on Taylor Green because there's been so much hype about the athleticism and he's like Anthony Richardson and the stats just haven't been there. The stats are there this year.
Right.
So, obviously we want to see it against good competition. This is a good week. A good week for him against Ole Miss to show he can do it against the SEC. I think that there's a chance here. I've been saying I want him to be a tight end. Maybe he's proven me wrong here.
He's not like I'm trying to blank on the other quarterback that went to Atlanta and became a tight end.
Felipe Franks.
Felipe Franks, yeah, that was my guy. Yeah, definitely became a tight end, became nothing there at that next level.
Yeah.
No, the competition is gonna come. You know, Ole Miss. This is gonna be a game on ESPN. That's actually gonna be this weekend. Then they have Memphis, and then they have a gauntlet. I mean, they're next. Actually, every game but two, it looks like, is against a ranked opponent right now in the next. The rest of the season.
Are
Tennessee,
any of
number
them Florida?
17. Well, we're gonna end the show right here. Switches over here, David over here. We're gonna show's over, people. Show's over. No, none of them are Florida, but that would be an easy loss for him. We'll talk about that Florida team here in a bit. But Notre Dame, number 8, Tennessee 15, Texas A&M 16, Auburn 24, Mississippi State, Texas or LSU 3, Texas 7, Missouri 25. This is Taylor Green's season, right?
Yeah.
If he is gonna do something, he has the schedule in front of him and say, "Hey, you are a legitimate quarterback." And truthfully, you're in the SEC. You don't need to go out there and win out. If he does, his whole stock skyrockets if they win out. But you don't necessarily need to do that in SEC games. I don't feel you need to win every game. Yes, it definitely helps. But you still go out there and perform. Like if you lose in a one matchup, and maybe it's the defense that does the loss, right? It doesn't have to be on the offense. Maybe he's going out there and doing everything he can. Defense gives us big play, doesn't give them enough time to get the ball back and do big things, right? So a lot of stuff can be doing things. Um,
No, this is the
so
same
yeah,
man.
this is the same. I feel like this is a Mike that we know.
Yeah,
But
this is definitely a mic that we know.
this is Fox News.
Yeah.
That's not happening there. But no, but I do like Taylor Green. I do like what we're seeing here. I'm excited to see what the growth will be in him as a quarterback because I think there are some big things to happen here for him. He's definitely gonna be someone that's making some big news. So make sure you have Taylor Green on your radars moving forward. He's a buy low right now, but I do think there's potential there. Another guy that's unranked right now, and he really came out and had a big performance this past week after not so much the previous week. Actually, one of your guys or one of your team's guys, I guess, Baylor wide receiver Josh Cameron coming out with 9 receptions, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Absolutely stud, has the strength. We know that with the freak list momentum there, has the speed, the ability to separate and win against big time contested catches too. Any thoughts on Josh Cameron out of Baylor?
No, this was a great game, and honestly, I see a lot more coming from this season. Baylor's defense, right? It's a wet Kleenex.
Yeah.
You could just go right through it. So, this was a great game. I think it really shows sort of what to expect from Baylor. They're going to have to pass a lot. They're going to have to move the ball very quickly, move it often. This was, I mean, all around a pretty good game for them. They come out on top sort of in the last minute against SMU. This probably is one of their last few weeks of not being ranked. I think they'll start to sneak in there. So I'm glad we could get Josh
Yeah.
Cameron on the show sheet here.
Yeah,
Because he looked great.
Yeah, I mean, next week they have Sanford, right? That's to be a toss-up. Then
Yeah.
it goes against Arizona State, and honestly, Arizona State hasn't looked superb as we thought,
Not
right?
that good. Yeah.
And dare I say, that's the matchup that determines the Big 12, maybe. I know there's other teams, Utah looks strong, but there's other teams that could possibly do it. But beginning of the season, we were talking about Arizona State and Baylor, so that could be the matchup that's like, who wins this could go on and win it, right? But Baylor, Sawyer Robinson has looked good. Josh Cameron's looked good. Your boy Bryce Washington's looked good. There's a lot of big things to happen for him moving forward, I think, as well. Another quarterback, a guy I've been pumping as well, Pittsburgh quarterback Eli Holston. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Eli Holston. In 2 games, he has 4 touchdowns. It's above 65% completion on both those games. If he never transferred out of Alabama, he would be the starting quarterback at Alabama right now. Is that true or false?
I mean, I think it's probably true. He definitely looks better than. Simpson had some flashes last week against lesser competition, but he looks better than Simpson.
Hey, you could argue it's an ACC, so maybe not. But I mean, I absolutely love what I'm seeing in Eli Holston. I think he's going to continue to rise. He has a strong arm. He has the ability to escape. But again, he's one of those smarter ones where he's not necessarily just leaving the pocket just to leave it. He's leaving if the pressure's coming and making those big plays happen there. Good call out there, Amir, with the Iowa State as well. Big 12 there, possibly. But no, I do absolutely love Eli Holston. I think he's someone that's gonna rise into day 2, potentially even day 1. He has 2 more years of eligibility that he can play, so not till 2027. But I think there could be a realm more. I mean, we see a Pittsburgh quarterback go in the first round off of one play. This guy's gonna be doing it for a full season, making some big plays. And granted, we do he had an injury prior to his shoulder injury. Now he's coming back. He seems like he's getting better and better in the groove. That injury is no longer lingering around him. Eli Holston's someone you need to keep an eye on because even though he's at Pittsburgh in the ACC, he might be one of the better quarterbacks that we're talking about when it comes draft time for him as well. Any other thoughts on him?
No, I think the one thing that you didn't touch on that I think deserves some discussing is he's the mobility, like the actual raw rushing ability that he's shown, is really exciting. It wasn't a part of his game that I think he necessarily was able to consistently show off last year. First 2 weeks, he's been I think over 40 yards rushing in both of them. I think he's got a rushing touchdown as well. I mean, that's a level that if he adds that to his game, once he hits your fantasy rosters, I mean, I think it's a part of who he is. So I think he's going to keep that going, and that rushing always equals some good points. So,
oh yeah,
you tack that on, it's exciting for sure.
Nice. Baby Ben Roethlisberger. That's what I'm saying. That's what he's gonna be. But speaking of the smaller or the babies, I guess you would say one of the smaller running backs in the nation, Louisville running back, Isaac Brown. Right now, the ACC rushing leader with 230, 12.8 yards per carry. Speed and more speed. This is a guy you've been pumping. I've been on the opposite fence with him. So through 2 games, I'm like, man, maybe I'm wrong. Talk to us about Isaac Brown though.
Yeah, no, I mean he's currently leading the ACC, and it hasn't been even close. He's got over 200. I think he's got 230 yards on the dot, maybe.
Yeah,
it's 12.8 yards a carry. He's looked fast and crazy elusive, like he's breaking tackles, he's making guys miss. The arms can't bring him down, just because he's so slippery, and he's breaking a big play almost every week.
Yeah.
His running mate Duke Watson got a lot of hype coming into the season as well, and I think Isaac Brown has him like 230 to 30 right now in terms of rushing yards. It's not even really been. It hasn't even really been a conversation, whereas last year was a lot more even split. He's definitely pushing his stock up. Whether he stays at Louisville this year or tries to move up to one of the like one of the top 5 programs in the country type of deal,
right?
Maybe in Oregon. Like
I mean, I get it. That would be interesting. I mean, do you think about the way he plays, and just because you said that, just because you said Oregon, I don't want to say Bucky, but he could be like a Jordan
like a
James.
Little Bucky. It's a little Bucky.
Bucky's like because Jordan James and Bucky are similar, but yeah, Bucky is slightly higher. But Jordan James, after getting the full load last year as well, he definitely rose up there. So I think he's closer to Jordan James right now, but I do see potential of being a Bucky. And the reason why I say that is because, like you mentioned, the slipperiness. If you don't tackle him within the first 5 yards, 10, good luck.
Yeah.
Like it's just you can't catch him. Like he's that quick. And it has to be the front 7, your big defensive linemen or your bigger linebackers, bringing him down. If he goes one-on-one against a cornerback, good luck. Like he is that fast where he doesn't even need to go through you. He could, but he's just gonna beat you with his feet. And you see it time and time again because he has explosive plays and he's getting down the field quickly. And the beauty about it is he's going through the holes with excellent vision. And on top of that, defenders are touching him. He's not going untouched. There are some where he does, but defenders are touching him. But yet he does have that strength of power through. And as you said, the hands just they can't bring him down. And that's a big part of what you want in those type of running backs. And I want to see more in the pass catching game for him. That's where Bucky would shine, right? More so, where Jordan James was more the runner. He still had his pass catching ability as well. But you add that to Isaac Brown's stock as far as his arsenal is pass catching. And now you have an absolute monster that's gonna be a leading rusher in the nation, not just the ACC, right? So absolutely love that pick. That was a great one there. Amir, I hope you're still on because this is a guy we're gonna talk about. You actually said before the show even started, Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest, 5'10", 195. We talked about Isaac Brown. This guy's also a speedster. Longest of the season was 85-yard scamper down the field, 212 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is an absolute beast. He is the reason why Wake Forest looks good when they do. It's because Damon Claiborne's in the backfield. He's not as fast as what Isaac Brown is. He's not as slippery. He's a little bit more on the bulkier side, I would feel like. But yet he's still going to make those big plays happen and be able to do some damage for any team that's opposing him as well. Any thoughts on Claiborne?
I mean, he really exploded last week, and Claiborne, he's he's sort of an odd watch because he consistently, it's like small play,
Yeah,
made
boom.
the wrong read, and then he just goes, he just blows up.
Mm.
It's almost like watching Saquon play. Obviously, we're not saying Claiborne is Saquon, but that type of running
Wait.
style, that type of running style,
So I need to
where
go
it's
get some Devon Claymore now. Hold on.
yeah, no, that that style that Saquon has, where it's like you see him make three negative plays in a row, and you're like, oh man, this guy is so frustrating, and
He
then he
wants the
breaks
rest of
an
the
80
game.
yard, yeah, and then he breaks an 80-yard touchdown,
Right.
and you're like, oh right, that's why he's getting those four negative plays. That's how
Right.
he plays. So I'm more a
Two
little
steps
worried.
back to go forward, right?
Yeah, that that's his philosophy. So I'm a little worried about that translating to the next level because that will frustrate coaches. And if you're not Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
coaches tend to start to doubt whether you can actually break that 80-yard touchdown.
Right.
But he looks better this year than he did last year, so it's promising to see if he can keep that up. Even just like Kenneth Walker. How about Kenneth Walker as a
Yeah.
comp there? Because that's who he really reminds me of. Where again,
Right.
it's he's making some of the wrong reads, getting caught in the backfield, but boy, oh boy, can he break out for an
Yeah.
80-yard rush.
Fair. Obviously, love that comp there. I think it's gonna be interesting to see again. Wake Forest. You're not really talking about that team as a whole a lot, but Demond Claiborne's definitely a special talent for there. Kenneth Walker comp is a good comp there, simply because he can make those big plays happen. He's not gonna be getting it every single down though. He's definitely
No.
someone that you get to such a working man. He's gonna get the bulk of the carries, and he's gonna wear the defense down so he can go out there and make that big play out of nowhere. Now, another guy, Amir, this is someone that I know you mentioned multiple times on different shows there. He's actually saying great comp there as well. But your guy out of NC State, Amir, Dylan Smothers, Hollywood Smothers there, the running back, 140 yards, 8.2 yards per carry, 2 TDs last week. Amir, in the comments, I want you to tell us what you think about Hollywood Smothers and why you like him while we're discussing it here as well. But a smaller back as well on NC State. Really been a shiny point for NC State as well. Again, nice and fast, able to gain yards and bunches. He's not someone that needs to get the full workload, the full bulk of carries. He can make it happen on limited amount of carries. Definitely someone I could see potentially at the next level is like a change of pace. Like he's not going to be your 3 down back, but you could bring him in just to do that. He might be better on a kick return type of basis as well. But I do like what I see in Hollywood Smothers. Any thoughts on him?
No, I mean it was a great game for him last week, and he is that entire offense. I mean
Yeah,
I,
sadly, I wish it was Noah Rogers, but
yeah, I know. I mean he's the heart and soul right there. Obviously the quarterback CJ Bailey there looks great too, but
Mhm.
Smothers is sort of the drum beat that's allowing
Yeah.
that passing offense to go.
Yeah.
I do think he's probably like a third down guy where he's going to catch passes. He's going to, make it happen at the next level. But Hollywood Smothers, I mean, I don't think I would have labeled him a Devy guy coming into this year. I would have said
Mhm.
great in C2C because maybe there's a chance he sneaks into the day three. But really, you're getting
Right.
great NFL production out of him. I mean, you're saying,
Right.
he can catch, slick,
Yeah.
slithery runner. And that's really what you've seen. It's almost been a level up for Hollywood Smithers.
Right.
We got one Hollywood who's showing out in the NFL right now, and on the Chiefs there, not Jerry Judy,
Yeah.
Mike. Um, every week we're gonna get a new wide receiver to the Chiefs.
Well, and one of these ones, it's gonna actually happen.
It's
I'm gonna
gonna
be like,
actually
wait,
happen.
we're gonna be like, don't believe this is gonna happen for real.
Yeah, no, that's what he's banking on.
Yeah.
But this Hollywood could come in right away and make a difference on a team. He'd be great with like a hammer back and maybe split 50% of the role. Sort of what Cleveland I think has lined up with Dylan Sampson. I think he could easily rise to that fourth round like Sampson did.
Yeah. He'd definitely be the lightning in someone's thunder there. I like what Amir's saying, slick still three runner can catch, doing those kind of big things there as well. But I do think he has potential to get drafted day 3, and he's got to work his way on the roster. I think his best outcome right now is to make it happen on special teams and work his way as one of those special team grinders. You always see those guys that are phenomenal talents, and they just go out there and grind the whole time on special teams, whether it's blocking, whether it's running, or doing anything they need to do, but being an impact player there on that team and then making some big plays. And then sometimes you see him transition into an actual starting role there as well. He says he wasn't sure myself if Devy, but he really surprised me. Yeah, it's harder for spoilers on Devy asset. If you're in deeper leagues, sure take a shot on him. I think he's a great CFF C2C asset because he could definitely help your Coliseum win. Devy, though, again, you're not getting points with Devy, so you're looking more at the pro prospect. He's a little bit on the smaller side. NC State's not going to be a team that's going to go rave and get these top guys there again. I thought it was going to be Noah Rogers. Hasn't been that at all. So Smothers is someone I think has good value, and you maybe will get him in the third round of your rookie drafts if that might be too high. But there is opportunity there for him at that next level, I think. I just don't think it's going to be anything fantasy relevant, so to say, there.
Yeah, I think like Kenneth Gainwell type is kind of what you're seeing as like a ceiling for him. Which is still good. Like that's better than it looked coming into the season.
Right.
But in C2C, like he's an elite type of asset.
Right. Now another guy, talk about C2C assets or CFF. UTSA running back Robert Henry, back-to-back 150-yard games, 2 TDs in each game. Another UTSA guy that came out, Sincere McCormick, who actually did get some buzz come draft time. Is this the next coming? Is Robert Henry going to actually be that? Definitely looks like he's the one that's carrying, UTSA and the Roadrunners there. Shout out our schools in Texas there. But what are your thoughts on Robert Henry?
Yeah, Robert Henry's looked surprisingly good also. Another guy who I think I kind of thought, like, this is a good maybe college asset. Like, in your tadpole bowls, this is a guy you want to grab. He's going to be productive. He's been way more productive than I thought he was going to be. I was thinking solid guy, but, I mean, he's been physical. Just powering through tackles. He's breaking off plays, not really with speed. He's not the fastest guy, but with, good vision, decisiveness, planting the foot, and breaking a few tackles. It's been 2 games in a row now where he's just dominated. I think he's actually working himself into a Devy conversation. Again, later type of action, kind of maybe not. But I think he might be better than Sincere McCormick as an NFL prospect. Just due to the size. He's got more prototypical NFL size, a little more oomph behind his runs. And Sincere McCormick showed out pretty well last year when he stepped in at the Raiders. I know they already put him on the practice squad this year, and like it was sort of flash in the pan, but he was, you started him in playoffs. You were a happy camper last year.
I mean, you look at these G5 guys, though, going to the practice squad, you're still at that level. You're just waiting for your time to call up, right? As this year was last year. Robert Henry, 5'9", 205. The downfall is UTSA is 0-2, so he's definitely going to be under the radar a lot. But as you mentioned, if he's there in your CFF, your C2C, there is opportunity for him to actually go out there and shine. Someone I need to actually try to grab in my C2C leagues if he's available. Probably not if you're in there with me, but which I think is almost all of them. But either way, I think they'll go see, where he's at, because I think there is some value there as far as someone that can help you win on the college side. And then, again, deeper ones, not mad if you want to take a shot, because he is the focal point of the Roadrunners offense. They're 0-2 though, so it's gonna be hard for him to get any traction. Like, he would have to have a stellar season for him to get any of that NFL buzz around him if they continue to lose down the field as well.
Yeah, he'd need to push that like 1,500 yards and probably still also then show out at the Senior Bowl in order to really get draft action.
Right. Ooh, excuse me. Right. No, exactly. Our next guy here is actually ACC. Let me double check this before I sway my stuff here. Hold on. I just want to make sure I'm correct in here, because I think he leads the ACC, if I'm not mistaken. What am I going here?
Let's see. If it does, fly, Eagles, fly, man.
I'm pretty sure he's leading the ACC. Oh, no, he's not. It is actually our guy out at Duke. Shout out the Blue Devils. But Dylan Lonergan. I may have said that incorrectly. I apologize. Dylan Lonergan, though. Did I say that incorrectly there?
I think it's Lonergan.
Lonergan?
Yeah.
Well, we'll double check that. I apologize that for Dylan. But Boston College quarterback last week, through 2 games, 658 yards, 75.9% completion, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions through 2 games. Boston College looks legit. They look nice with him on the field. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time we had 2 former Alabama quarterbacks who are dominating the ACC and we put them on our sheet, I'd have 2 nickels. No, he's looked really good, and he showed out this week. I think he won ACC Player of the Week this week after a heroic win over Michigan State, or rather a heroic loss I should say.
Yeah, they lost.
It
There
was
was
a
double
heroic.
Tito, I think, as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a heroic loss. Is what I meant
Yeah.
to say. Sorry, BC fans. I'm right there with you. That's if I had my regional team, that's who I'm pitching for. I got a good buddy, graduated there. But
There
I
you
mean,
go.
he's looked like really good, which I don't think anyone fully expected coming into the year. You know, he's kind of this Alabama fade out, not too much buzz, but I mean, he's looked really good. And Michigan State isn't a slouch. They always put up a very good defense. Every year they kind of have a tough, like they're not always top 10, but
Mhm.
they're tough. You don't want to play them. They're physical, strong, fast, have
Yeah.
playmakers. I forget who their defensive coordinator is there, but he always puts out just good product. I mean, it's always scrappy.
They have
And
O'Brien there too, that pro offense. So
yeah, and that's exactly right. Like he's coming in. Bill O'Brien's the head coach there. If you missed that last year, Bill O'Brien's building a monster.
hmm
Tommy Castellanos didn't fit what he wanted to do. Lonergan fits perfectly,
right.
and you can see that in the game plan. It's flowing naturally. It's flowing well. The offense looks really good, and it's because Lonergan has run it perfectly. He's got solid enough arm strength. Again, he was an Alabama commit. This wasn't a kid who didn't have something coming out as a recruit.
Right.
He just moved on now. I think he's right at home. I don't know that he's necessarily like an NFL prospect yet, but if he keeps having a season like this, if he keeps putting up these type of numbers, he's absolutely, to me, a Devy prospect and someone you need to watch.
I know they lost this week against Michigan State. Benefit is it's a Big Ten out of conference competition, right? Dare I say the ACC is up for grabs, right?
Yeah.
Like I know Miami's beatable. Miami looks like they're beatable. Clemson is beatable, right? SMU, okay, they're beatable. Georgia Tech, beatable. Syracuse, beatable. Duke, beatable. Pittsburgh, they're all beatable. ACC's up for grabs. There's no one really running around with it or running away with it. Right now, you could say Miami. They're the highest ranked, I do believe. But it's still the competition there. It's anyone's game right now this early on. The Michigan State will hurt them, that loss, but it's not going to hurt them as much as if they go to Stanford or lose, or if they go to California or Cal, week 4 as well at Pittsburgh. That'll be an interesting one as well. My guy, your guy there. But it's going to be something where the ACC, just like the Big 12, the competition, there is no clear winner. It's so tight in the race that it could really be anyone's matchup. So I'm excited to see what they could do. I'll be pulled out for Pittsburgh here because I like Eli Holston, but I do think that it could possibly be someone like Boston College coming around with it as well.
Yeah, maybe he's the next Matt Ryan. Who knows?
maybe that'll be a story to tell. Oh, now, he says the former Gopher DC for the defensive
Joe
coordinator.
Rossi. Always a good defense with him.
Now, there you go. Yeah, he said Joe Rossi. Now, that was really our show sheet. We just wanted to cover a few unranked players there, or unranked teams, players on unranked teams that should be on your Devy radars. A really shorter show here today, but we do want to give each other some homework, for us to watch, and for all those viewing us, if y'all want to join in on this homework, and when y'all come back next week on Wednesday when we're live, come here and tell us what y'all learn as well. Don't forget Devy Game Day live every Saturday morning, hour before kickoff. Talk the top 25 matchups. Me and Spencer are on there. We always bring on a guest as well, so come join the fun. It's always a good show there. And then don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as well. We appreciate all the support. It is football season, so we have shows and shorts, all this kind of material coming out for y'all just to make sure y'all are dominating in your fantasy leagues as well. Spencer, my homework for you, because I know you love both these quarterbacks.
Yep.
Florida versus, or I should say, Florida at number 3 LSU. So I'm gonna have some questions. Is DJ Lagway not him? That's the number one. Is he? Because I have his WQB1, and it's really hurting my heart to see them lose to UCF last week. We could have talked about Byron Brown, but he moved up. He got them ranked, so that's why we didn't have him here. We could have talked about DJ Lagway. That's who we should talk about because they're not ranked anymore. But is DJ Lagway?
We would have had to have a good performance in order to make the show sheet.
Wow. Just tear that by heart there. But also, is DJ Lagway him? On the flip side, or is Nuts him? And who's the better QB prospect out of this game? When you watch this game, because I know you like him more,
Yeah.
who is the better one there? But A question I had asked my co-host for my Debbie DJ and so Tommy, does the offense look different if Dallas Wilson's on the field? Still, no, not sure if Dallas Wilson will play this week. Vernal Brown has looked good. He had that spectacular catch, the OBJ type of catch. He has looked okay. They don't really have that field stretcher or that type of guy to really move down the field, beat the secondary, and really take it to the next level right now. They have guys that are twitchy, guys that can make the moves, but no one really to get the birds on, go down the field. So is Vernal Brown a Devy asset, or does he just look like a good cause player? And on the flip side for LSU, Aaron Anderson, is he the best wide receiver out of LSU, or is he just getting the most targets and really and that's why just avoiding Nick Anderson and Barry Brown, or Trey Green be a receiver as well? Is Anderson really that guy? Oh, see, there he goes. Already rolled out Dallas Wilson. Appreciate it, Amir. Now, with that, as well, I'm going to throw in some IDP. Whit Weeks or Harold Perkins? I just want to know who do you like more, because I do think Whit Weeks is undershined or overshadowed. I say overshadowed by Harold Perkins. We've been high on Harold Perkins since he came in the league. Phenomenal player, phenomenal defensive player, but Whit Weeks looks nice. So it's curious on, which linebacker you think is a little bit better there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this will be. Yeah, I love these two quarterbacks. Actually, I don't hate DJ Lagway, but I do hate Nuss.
Yeah.
and everybody's he's been getting hyped up like he's been killing it. I think he's like under 6 yards in attempts. I mean, it's come on, guys.
Yeah, I will let y'all know if y'all follow us every Monday. The Devy Times, our newspaper article comes out. Our top 25 Devy assets are on there. Garrett Nussmeier is not on there, and that's because this guy over here has him ranked a little bit too low on his rankings. But our consensus rankings for top 25 players does come out on the Devy Times every Monday. There's a short dropping for that, so be on the lookout for that. But go ahead with your homework now.
No, so this will be a fun game to watch, though. And then I got one for you. Clemson v. Georgia Tech, I think at Georgia Tech. Is Cade Klubnik back to, there's that color orange in Clemson. Is he back to being the orange pumpkin? It's been a tough 2 weeks.
Tis the season for a pumpkin.
Tis the season for a pumpkin. And it's, he dressed like a pumpkin. He looks like a pumpkin. Is he a pumpkin? Then same with TJ Moore. Is he a fast fade? I mean, it's been, last week was a disappearing act for him. Your guy, Bryant Wesco, on the other side there, is he the truth? While they're waiting, I think Antonio Williams I think he looked like he was going to be out again this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be between these two again in theory, but is Wesco the truth, or is TJ Moore a fast fade, or are we still in on both these guys? And then are there any running backs worth watching on that Clemson team? It's been crickets from Gideon Davidson after a strong spring. Ezi Amume still isn't playing football. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a one-man show with the gosh, now I'm blanking on his name. Of course, I didn't put him in the homework. Randall, yeah.
Yep.
Randall's kind of been the one-man show. It hasn't been a fun show to watch, but he's been doing it all. I mean, do you think that there's anything there, or do you think it's dead? And then on that Tech side, we got the Haynes and Haynes. So Haynes King and Jamal Haynes, are they Devy prospects? I think they're the two most exciting parts of that offense. Haynes King is supposed to be back this week after missing last week. He had an explosive week one, left late, I think, with like a rib injury, and they didn't really need him this week, so they just said, sit this one out, you're good.
Right.
And Jamal Haynes has looked good too. A little small. I think he's like 5'8", 175, but he's been getting a ton of work in his college career. He's been holding up and looking explosive. So, are those guys Devy prospects, or is it just fun for Tech fans to watch him play?
Yeah, no, I mean, the size will definitely impact Jamal Haynes, but I mean, people like RJ Harvey, I think they need to pay attention to Jamal Haynes. I'm excited to watch this one because I have that same question about Klubnik, right? I thought he was going to throw for 50 touchdowns and light it up. Yeah. That's looking like not even a hot take. That's looking like a super ice cold, or I don't even know what kind of take, but he's definitely laying me down. And I'll have answers for you this week because I'll be tuning into that because it's hard.
No, I thought he was, of all the quarterbacks coming out this year, I thought he was by far the safest. I was like, Klubnik, the worst place he's going to fall is like number 12, like Bo Nix.
Right.
He might need to find a way to come back to school.
Yeah, he might fall out the first round at this point. It's looking pretty rough
Yeah.
for them there. No, both exciting games. Like we say, he's gonna be watching Florida versus LSU. I'll be watching Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Both exciting games here, but every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, an hour before kickoff, we are here to talk the top 25. So I'm sure we'll talk about both of these as well, as Clemson is ranked, as LSU is ranked. So we'll definitely keep an eye. We have a guest on here as well. So make sure you tune in to the FFU as we go live every Saturday morning, and every Wednesday we're here for you at 6:05 p.m. Pacific. The Devy Planet, going over some recap, some news we saw, different concepts that we're bringing to the table as well. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow our guys, Dynasty Dogs, Mike and Rich. Great content talking to you about Dynasty all year long. Our guy, Jeremy with Adjusted Ranks doing his thing as well. Make sure you're tuning into that. And then Jesse with us every Sunday and Saturdays here, going in with the Fantasy Roundtable as well as the Start Sit Show, which we have every hour and a half, 90 minutes before kickoff on Sundays for your fantasy football teams. That one's a full slate. Most of our guys that could get on are joining that as well. So come in, ask your questions. That show is specifically meant for you to ask your questions on who we think you should start and sit based on all the stuff that we're researching through the week. So make sure you have the best fantasy week that you can put out there as well. Hey, last minute thoughts there, Spencer?
No, you absolutely need to catch kind of everything we're doing if you're into this. We're, as you can see with us engaging with Amir, we're always here for anybody tuning in. We're here to talk ball, and we love to do it. So shout us out. And also, like, if you don't have time to kind of catch us live every week, we are putting this up on the Devy Planet specifically, anywhere you can find podcasts. Right now we're on Apple, Spotify, and Pocket Casts, as well as Spreaker, who's our host. If there's anywhere that you listen that we don't have, we're not putting on and you want us to put on for you, just reach out to me. I'm happy to do it. It doesn't take too long. I just don't always know where everything is. That's how we got on Pocket Casts. As a buddy of mine reached out and said, hey, I'd like to listen to that. Can you put it here though? This is the only place I listen. I think I had it on there within 5 minutes. So
love it.
Just absolutely reach out. And again, if you can't make the live show, we're right there for you. So trying to stay timely and topical.
I appreciate everyone joining in and tuning in. Shout out to Amir, Daniel, and Philly Michael G for tuning in and asking some questions or just commenting on the show. We appreciate all the comments, all the support. Until next time, though, I am SC Romero at the Devy Planet with my co-host here, Spencer at Bookwald Sports. This is the Devy Planet, and we will see y'all next week.
FFU. FFU.